I quit my 9 to 5 to work 24/7.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I'm the founder of an award-winning company, and I'm here to share some tips and tricks as to things that I do that help me manage my time properly. Hello everyone, welcome in. It's your girl Creatively Anzy, and welcome to my creative corner of YouTube. I'm the founder of an award-winning company called Melanin Gamers that's been featured in Forbes, the BBC, and we've worked with the likes of EA, Bandai Namco, Microsoft, PlayStation, Ubisoft, name but a few. And I was a speaker this year at Gamescom, that's Europe's largest gaming convention. I'm also an award-winning writer. I'm a cosplayer, I'm an official otaku girl. So I like reading manga. I'm starting One Piece, people, pray for me. I'm a public speaker. I recently started a consultancy company as well. So how do I juggle all of these passions like cosplaying, gaming, everything like that, while still not losing my sanity and letting this overwhelm me? And I'm here to share some tips and tricks as to things that I do that help me manage my time properly without getting so overwhelmed. And I feel like in our generation, more and more people have their main job and several side hustles, as well as different hobbies that are trying to explore, like all these run clubs that suddenly popped up all over the place. But we'll get to that later. I see that as a return to the Renaissance, you know? And what was the Renaissance period? Not that Renaissance, the other Renaissance. That, as defined by Britannica, is a period of European civilization that saw a revival of classical learning and wisdom. Basically, contributions from so many different fields like politics, religion, maths, science, architecture. As the saying goes, a jack of all trade, master of none. But you can be a master of all if you manage your time correctly. Take, for example, someone like my sister, who's holding a gun to my head right now. I'm blinking. She's amazing at so many different things. She's studying medicine. She's in her second year. She has an amazing YouTube channel. She is always at the gym. She's a gym bunny. You won't see me at the gym, but she's there. And her first degree is in fashion. She was so good at it that she won a competition for Ted Baker. You can actually buy her designs, people. She's also the eldest sibling. That means she's the third parent in this African household. How does she get so good at so many different aspects of her life? And how can you do that too? I would say that obviously timing and scheduling, of course, but knowing that you've already done this. Remember, cast your mind back, not that far back, to school times. You were studying a minimum of 9 subjects: maths, science, biology, chemistry, PE, DT, and you had a minimum of at least 1 after school class. If you were raised in a Ghanaian household like I was, you were cooking cleaner too. And on a designated picking up and dropping off of your siblings. You were doing a lot, you were juggling a lot. And along the way, we were told to specialize on one subject, which is fine, by the way, but we also lost that encouragement to explore other things, which is why I mentioned the Renaissance. And I feel like people are, for better or worse, people are going back to exploring other things. I say for worse because people have a main job. A lot of people I know have a main job and a few side hustles, mainly because they need to supplement their income because the economy is always economying. And for better, because as I mentioned, run clubs, there's the sip and paint stuff. There's so many different things for people to try now in terms of their hobbies, which is great, which can get overwhelming. So things that I do, like school time, is I section my days. So each day has its own purpose and it's dedicated to its own field of one of my interests, what I do. For example, as I mentioned, I'm CEO, founder, boss babe of Melanin Gamers. And on Mondays, that's my work day. I work from home and I set my times just like, I quit my 9 to 5 to work 24/7.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
But I actually split my time from like 10 to 6. Those are like my working hours. I'm answering emails, I'm doing applications, I'm taking meetings, that sort of thing. And I unwind by gaming anyway, so I stream as well. And from that stream, I clip moments and I upload it onto my gaming channel. We also record a podcast every other Monday. And then on Tuesday, again, another work day, 10 to 6. And then I edit that podcast. I edit and record content like this for this channel as well. On Wednesdays is a writing day. So I do writing sprints in my Discord. A writing sprint is basically you get 40 minutes or 30 minutes and you have to write as much as you can and then you get a break and then you do it again for like a 5-hour block. And then in the evenings, I have a writing class that I attend as well. And sometimes I edit and record content. Thursday is another writing day, but I also am applying for different things. It's more editing day as opposed to actual writing. So I'm editing the work that I would have written on the Wednesday. And then I also stream too. That's playing games online. And then on Friday is a work day. I'm taking meetings. Again, as I said, even though I do 10 to 6, take that with a pinch of salt because I work with a lot of people and time zones sometimes get thrown out the window. Like I had a meeting last week that was at midnight. So a pinch of salt has to be taken sometimes. Saturdays, I'm reading, I'm relaxing. I'm also streaming, clipping content. Sundays is my rest day and I just stream on Melanin Gamers and that's it. So all of that structure and scheduling, it can become overwhelming. And so I would recommend an application like Notion or Asana. I use Asana. I love Asana. I like seeing everything mapped out. Like today I'm doing this, you know, and everything between, just mapping it out. If it's not in the calendar, I'm probably not going. I will forget. So I would really suggest having something like that to keep track of all the different things that you have to do. And also, I also have a whiteboard. A physical calendar, I think is very important because then you can actually visually see, okay, this is what I have to do, and writing something down and ticking something off. Like in school times again, you know, when you got the gold star, like, oh, well done, buddy. That releases dopamine and you're gonna be like, oh, I did it. It's actually really helpful and encourages you to keep going and keep at it in terms of tracking your progress. Which is my next point. Tracking your progress is really important. And I would say like reviewing every sort of 3 months, this hobby that you're into, why did you come into it? And also how far you want to reach with that hobby. For example, I know someone who wants to learn the piano just so that they can play Time from Interstellar. That someone is me. I don't want to be the greatest pianist in the world. I just want to learn that one song. You know, in Sims where there's like 10 bars when you learn something, and when you reach the 10th bar, you're the best at it in the world. I don't want to get to that 10th bar. Maybe bar 3 and I'm good to go. So also realizing how good do you want to get at something. If you're learning a new skill, do you want to be mastery over it, or do you want to learn it just to be decent? You're learning to cook so you can be okay at it. So I think tracking it is very important to keep track of why, and you're reviewing why you were into it. It can sometimes motivate you as to like, oh, I really want to get better at this. Or actually, you know what? I signed up for this run club because I wanted to meet some guys. I met the guy. Bye. I'm joking. That's not why you sign up to run clubs, obviously. The next thing is giving yourself grace. As I mentioned, when I had the meeting at midnight, that's not the usual time for meetings, but you have to be able to be flexible. The general rule is the structure you have, and then there's the exceptions of, oh, this time is at this time. For example, end of August, beginning of September, we had a brand trip thanks to EA to Germany for the ALGS. So Melanin Gamers, we took a bunch of creators down. We went to Germany, we were recording content, we were making content, that sort of thing. That was 4 days in Germany. That's not my usual structure, but those are exceptions. And you have to give yourself grace, like, oh, I'm going to be a bit tired after this. I'm going to be this. So maybe this few days I'm going to rest and not go to my usual structure. And then making sure that you go back to that structure, but then making sure you definitely give yourself grace. Like, oh, no, I haven't done this. Don't be so rigid that you can't be flexible. So it's very important to have flexibility when you have a structured, when you have so many things going on. And as I mentioned, ALGS, I love gaming, creating content. Trying to integrate your interests together. I am a writer. I love writing. I also love gaming, love to play The Sims. So I've created this series called Sim Stories. Basically, I write out a short story and then I act it out in The Sims, and then I clip it, and it's like in 10 parts. So I've done there's 3 different types of Sim stories I've done so far. So that's like, if you can integrate your interests. First of all, it will save you loads of time because like you're doing 2 things at once. And second of all, it'll help you like sort of flex your different skills and grow your different skills together, which in new ways that we never would have heard of before. So I'd say if you can integrate your skills together if you can. So yeah, those are my hints and tips for trying to juggle different things in your life, having multiple different interests, and understanding that you can always add or remove, and that some interests have seasons, you know, like sometimes the interest, or you're like, I love rollerblading, but I can mostly do it during the summertime because it's warm. I live in London, it's raining all the time. So summertime is basically the only time I can do it because it's because I can't do it when it's raining. So some interests probably have seasons, and giving so I would say that definitely, as a recap, scheduling is key. Making sure that you that's quite funny. Making sure that you have a really good schedule. I recommend Notion or Asana, and a physical one. Giving yourself grace. Also allowing yourself to explore different interests, you know. Maybe I like this, maybe I don't. Maybe picking something up, and tracking your progress is very important for you, and giving yourself grace. So thank you very much. And I'm always a firm believer of advice. I like to share advice. I also like to hear advice. So if you guys have any advice as to how you also juggle your multiple interests, I would love to hear it in the comments. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in your girl, Creatively Anzy. Bye.